Welcome, Crochet Crew. My name is Michelle and I'm the creator of Bobble Stitch Queen. So glad you're here on this channel. I talk about all things crochet, market vlogs, and just anything to do with my life. So you never know what I'm going to talk about. But in this video, I am going to recap about a market that I had today that I have been looking forward to. It was in Russellville, Kentucky in Logan County, and this next clip you'll see where I'm doing like somewhat of an intro and parked and stuff, but I needed to do official intro of saying who I was and all that good stuff, and then after we watch that we'll get into some details about the market.
Well, hello, Crochet Crew. It's been a while. I've been busy, so my focus has been on getting ready for these huge markets coming up, and guess what? It's market day. I am here in Russellville, Kentucky for the Logan County Tobacco and Heritage Festival. I have got my car unloaded. I gotta go, I'm parked, and I gotta go and set things up. But it is chilly. It is 48 degrees here, and it's supposed to get up to 77 eventually, so it's gonna be a good day. Got my crochet, or not my crochet, I got my yarn ball earrings that somebody at church gave me. So thank you, Susie, if you're seeing this. I love them. Got my coffee. This is going to be an exciting day. I'm super excited about this market, because this is the town that I worked in for 23 years and retired from dental hygiene back in March. So I specifically wanted to apply for this market in hopes of getting in so that I could see probably a lot of my patients in this town. And I got accepted, but I wasn't expecting to get into this market and then my next big one next week. So I have been super busy focusing on that, getting inventory ready for both of them. So that's why I've been a little bit of MIA. But I definitely wanted to do a video of this market because I think it's going to be a success. There's going to be a parade. A little bit of background history is Jesse James robbed a bank here, and they do a reenactment of the Jesse James robbery at this tobacco festival. Sadly, I'm going to miss it, and I can't see it because I got to be at my booth, and it's not going to be where I can see it. But if I'm correct, the parade is going to go right by my booth. So hopefully I can show a little bit of that as long as I'm not busy. I've heard that this event is very, very busy, and I may get close to selling out, which is okay. But yeah, they're going to do a reenactment of the Jesse James robbery at this bank. The bank is still standing. It's a historic place where they do tours and stuff. And Russellville is a very, very pretty town. Very small. Everybody knows everybody. I loved working in this town. Loved the patients that I got to, get to know over the 23 years. So I hope that they come by and say hi, and I'm going to film footage when I can. I wish I could do customer interaction filming, but I have to use my phone for Square, so I can't really do that just yet. But stay tuned, and let's get this market set up.
So this next clip that I'm going to show you, I've got everything set up and you'll see how my display is. I wanted to try something different with my displays. I got a couple of those collapsible shelves, and you'll notice them. One of them is on my table and then another one is on the ground. But I needed something that was quicker, because when you first start out with markets, you don't know what works for you. So you do end up, it's a lot of trial and error. You buy stuff and you may either send it back, or you may use it for a while and find something else that works better. So I wanted to find something that worked better for me, because I would use those metal cube things that you put together, the panels that you put together in like a cube. And I liked those to start out with because they were better for me as far as like space wise, because I think I started out with some cubes, like actual wooden boxes of cubes or whatever, so that took up a lot of space in my car. But these metal cube things, they take a little bit to set up. and take apart. So I decided to try those collapsible shelves, and let me tell you, I like them so much better. So I will be selling my cubed organizer things on Facebook Marketplace to get those out of the way. And I also got some new tablecloths, and I like the ones that I got so much better, because with the other ones, they're the ones that stretch and they go underneath the legs of the tables. And I could do those by myself, but it was a lot harder for me to get them on by myself. So I always had my daughter, she had a designated job of, I would hold the table up and she would put them under the legs, and we would do it that way. So I wanted something even quicker. So the ones that you see in the video, you just put them on the table and they fit perfectly over the 4-foot or the 6-foot table that I have. And then the 4-foot table I have, of course, the tablecloth is a little bit bigger, so I just kind of tucked it in and stuff. But I also like those tablecloths because they cover everything underneath. So that is some things that you'll see different from my market displays if you've seen them in the past. I also did some different baskets on my grid wall that I got off Facebook Marketplace. I may do a video like about details of stuff that I use for my market and where I got the things, and some tips and tricks on market displays and stuff of what I have found that works better for me. So if you're interested in that, I can do a video that's separately for what I use for my markets to make it easier for me. So I'm going to show you what my setup looked like. I couldn't get recording while I was setting up just because I've not found a way to do that just yet. To me, it's kind of a hassle because you've got a timeline of getting things set up. So you're just going to see everything as it's done. So take a look. So with this market, these next clips that you're gonna see is some clips of the parade that they have. Like, I so much enjoyed my time at this market. I worked there for 23 years, and this is the first time I've been to this market. And so these next clips, I took some video of the parade and stuff, and the theme for the parade was night sky or the sky or whatever. So you'll notice on some of the floats, you'll see like stars or sayings about outer space, but my favorite float that went by was the Logan aluminum float. Logan aluminum is a plant in Logan County, Kentucky, and they make metal, of course, or aluminum cans, and their float was so awesome. A big rocket, and you see Buzz Lightyear on that rocket, so that was my favorite float, and I love hearing the bands play. So that is one of my favorite things about parades, is seeing the bands play. So that's what these next clips are about, of a little bit of the footage from the parade, and then I'll go into a little bit more detail of what's next. And the reason being is because people were getting there to set up to be able to watch the parade. I had a fantastic spot because I was right there on the road where the parade was coming by, so I got to see every bit of the parade. So it was kind of slow at first, and then I was looking around, and as you could see, there was a large crowd there, but people were getting their spots. So I made some sales before the parade. The event started at 9 and the parade started at 10:30, and of course it was dead as could be while the parade was going on, but I'm glad because I was able to watch and enjoy the parade. But after the parade, oh my goodness, it was like nonstop for like an hour, and I was so busy. As you saw in the video where my checkout stand was, people would kind of come in and then come to me and check out. And I mean, it was like that nonstop for like an hour. So I was super busy, but very grateful for the sales and everything. So this next video, you're going to see what my booth looked like at the end of the day before I tore down. And as I was selling stuff, I was having to get it off of the racks to bring it up higher, bring some things down that was on that shelf that was up high, down lower. So I moved some stuff around. So that's why you see some stuff in different spots and everything. So check out and see what my booth looks like before I tore it down and see how much inventory was gone. So yeah, as you can see, it was a great market. I was very happy with how well I did. And I'm also happy that I still have some inventory left because I've got another market a week from today in Glendale, Kentucky. I believe it's called the Glendale Days, and I've never been to it, but I've heard good things about it. They have like 400 vendors, and it's way bigger than the one I did today. So I was kind of stressed a little bit, afraid that I was going to sell out today and not have enough inventory for the Glendale Days. So I'm glad that I've got inventory left over, but I'm glad that I did well today. I was happy with my sales. So after I get done doing this video, I'm going to write down my inventory that I have. I am one that I like to keep up with inventory, pen and paper. I like to look at it and see it. So I'm going to write it down of what I have ready to go right now for Glendale and what I need to do. So for this market, number one seller yet again was Loaf Cats. I sold out of my big Loaf Cats and I sold out of my small Loaf Cats. Those are a great seller for me. So I want to always make sure I have plenty of Loaf Cats. I think I had 3 or 4 large ones and 5 or 6 small ones. I can't remember. Either way, sold out. So they were my number one seller. I also sold out of small axolotls. My no fuss bowls, where you build your own little no fuss fish bowl or whatever sea creature animal. I sold, I think, 6 of those. So those were a big hit as well. Trying to think. I almost sold out of all of my dashboard ducks. I think I only had 1 of those left. And I sold out of all of my axolotls. I sold quite a bit of the small turtles. My loaf cows that I had 1 of those left. Then trying to look over certain things. Spiders were a big hit as well. I think I have a couple of those left. Surprisingly, my $6 keychains and my $6 basket of goodies that I I did not sell as many of those as I thought because those are a cheaper price item, and I didn't sell as many of those as I thought, which is okay because I made better sales of selling, you know, the bigger stuff. So I've got plenty of that left. I sold some of my one-offs. There's a couple things that I still did not sell that I've been hanging on to for a while. If you noticed in the video, over to the right side of my booth on one of those shelves, there's that sitting or staying or kind of sitting bigger turtle and that lamb. Those are an item that are just not selling. So I'm going to see if they'll sell in Glendale. If they do not sell in Glendale, when I have a market 3 weeks from that, I'm going to mark those down even cheaper. Like that big turtle, I've only got $25 on it, and it will not sell. And that lamb, I think I've got like $25 on it. So I'm definitely underpricing myself on those items, but apparently they've either not found their right customer or they're just ugly to people. But that's okay. I won't make those patterns ever again because it's not a good pattern for me. So if they don't sell at Glendale on Saturday, I'm probably going to mark them down to $15 to $20 at my last market in Portland, Tennessee for their Christmas show, which is another show that I love to do. So I'm happy with everything that I sold. My daughter, she did really well with her stuff that she sold. If you noticed on my table, and it's on my thumbnail video or my thumbnail picture, is she had 5 crochet dolls, and those are the boy band from the big popular movie with kids, the K-pop whatever. She found a pattern for those and crocheted those, so those sold really well for her. She had 2 left, so her goal this week is to work on those to bring those to Glendale. So it was a good time. It started out cold, 48 degrees. It started warming up when the sun was shining right on me, but it turned out to be a beautiful day. The temperature ended up getting to be around 77. And another big highlight of this show is I got to see some of my fellow patients that I saw when I practiced dental hygiene in this town, because I worked in this town for 23 years and I developed some really good relationships with some of these patients. Like I cried when I had to leave when this doctor that I worked for retired, because I really got close with some of these patients. And it was nice to be sitting there and having some patients come up behind me and give me a hug and get to talk to them. And, they're asking me how I was doing, if I was going to be practicing dental hygiene again, because they hadn't been to see a dentist or a dental hygienist because they just saw us for so long. So that was just the highlight of my day, of getting to see these patients. So if any of you all that were my former patients that came up and said hi to me, and you're watching this video, thank you so much for coming up and saying hi to me, because it truly made my day to be able to get to see and talk to each one of you all and catch up with you all and to see how you all were doing, and for you all to ask me. And the doctor that I worked for, he came by to see me too, so that was nice as well. So I am definitely glad that I did this market. I look forward to it next year. It's going to be a market that I'll be sure to put on my calendar and do every year, just to be able to try to stay in contact with those patients and see those patients each year. But I mean, there's nothing that I can complain about with this market. Everybody was nice. The customers were nice. The weather was beautiful. The only issue I had as far as the spot where I was at is that back table. I had to move it in a lot because there was a hole in the spot where I was at. So I didn't want anybody to fall in that hole, twist an ankle. So I kind of had to move that table in a lot to cover that hole up, which is okay. I may do. I mean, you just have to be prepared to work around anything when you do markets and just do the best you can, because that's all you can do. So I'm going to get off here and I'm going to see what inventory I have, relax for the rest of the night, although it is 7:35, so it's pretty late. The event went from 9 to 4, but I've had to run some errands and stuff, unload my car, of course, and I'm going to get this finished up, hopefully get this video uploaded tonight. If I don't get it uploaded tonight, it'll be uploaded tomorrow on Sunday. But yeah, so thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. And just so that I know you've watched this video this far, comment Tobacco Festival. But yeah, thank you so much, and until next time, bye.